We all have trouble making decisions sometimes. Hopefully this video will help to clarify things by giving tips and advice on the mechanism of how we make decisions and why it's a problem sometimes. So stay tuned. Are you often double-minded and having trouble making decisions and not knowing what to do or what would be the best course of action? Well, that's normal. We all have trouble making decisions. We all struggle with wanting to do the best thing, the right thing, the thing that'll have the most reward. But coming to those decisions can be very difficult. Some people have an easy time, have a hard time, and have a consistent trait or record of just not making very good decisions or worrying and being frustrated about decisions continually and never seeming to overcome that. So what is a decision? A decision is the ability to discern direction and to make a determined and confident choice. And that's easier said than done. We've all had to make many decisions. We've all had to struggle with the process, and it can take minutes to hours to days and to get all the facts and information that we need to make a value decision, a quality decision. It's not easy. So now that we understand the definition of a decision, what happens when we make a decision? Well, it's obvious. We start to become confused, frustrated, depressed, and basically have a lack of satisfaction and unhappiness. It causes us to just worry and fear about the situation until we have an answer. Many of us mull things over in our minds so much, and sometimes that gives us an answer, but many times it doesn't. Indecision or double-mindedness can be for the moment, or it can be a character trait. But no matter what, eventually we have to decide a direction, or the direction will be decided for us by someone else or just the situation at hand. And we want to make a decision that we feel comfortable with, or at least the best decision we can. So let's start with a quote that I've always loved from the late American president, Theodore Roosevelt. In any moment of decision, the best thing to do is the right thing, and the worst thing to do is nothing. And he also has another quote that says, "The only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything." So you can see that indecision doesn't help you at all. It just pushes the problem further into the future, and it's waiting there for you to face it whenever you will choose to face it. The problem never goes away. The problem is still there. You may delay it, you may push it aside, but eventually it'll have to be faced, it'll have to be decided if you want to move forward and if you want to have more peace. People who have trouble making decisions don't have much peace. They usually are worriers and very confused, very double-minded, very back and forth in decisions. And while we all struggle with that to some degree, some struggle, like I said before, with it greatly, and their whole lives are just damaged and affected by that process. So let me give you some reasons that I have seen that causes indecision or causes problems in people and in myself, and how to overcome them, or how to at least look at them in a different direction. And hopefully this will help you get out of the rut of struggling so much in confusion and frustration. So what are the causes of indecision? First of all, a lack of knowledge or information. If you don't have knowledge of what you're trying to solve, the problem, if you don't have information, if you don't have the experience in the area you're trying to solve, it's going to be hard to make a decision because you know your knowledge based on understanding. So to get some of that understanding, you can ask people for help, you can do research, and just keep seeking and keep pushing to find the answer until you get closer to understanding that situation or the problem at hand. And it could take a lot of time. Some of these things are not quick. You have to be willing to pay the price. Many answers take lots of research, lots of digging, lots of talking to people, going on the internet, prayer. Searching is a big part of finding the answers. And many people are not willing to dig, and you just need to press forward into the problem, and you'll find out as you keep searching, it's easier and easier. Secondly, people follow the opinions of others instead of following their own opinions. Now, it's good to get advice from other people, but you have to eventually make a decision for yourself. If you're not confident with the decision that someone else has made for you or the advice that someone has given, then don't do it. Don't obey it. You need to come to a point where you're at peace. And that could mean asking someone else for help. That could mean, like I said, searching for the answer yourself. But you need to have peace with the answer. You need to believe that it is right. You need to believe it is good and is for you. So if someone is going against what you feel is right, then stand up for yourself and hold your ground, or at least just don't do what they say. Just search for the answer that brings you peace. Another reason, another area is overthinking a problem. We all have a tendency to just think and think and think and search and search. Some people search too much, some people think too much. And that can cause actually the alternate problem of overthinking a thing. And sometimes the problem is beyond our understanding, it's beyond our ability to get to the answer. And sometimes we just have to relax and let the thinking go, just stop and take a break. Many times when you let go of something, the answer will come to you. It's a known fact in science that the brain thinks better, it reacts better when it's at a state of peace, at a state of relaxation and flow. You know, if you're tight and frustrated, you're going to limit the creative juices that go on in your brain and in your soul and spirit to help you to make decisions. So take a break if you're overthinking something. Take a break if you're getting frustrated, and just do something fun for a while. Get away from the issue, and you'll be surprised how the answer will come to you, or at least you'll have a little more clarity toward that answer. Another issue is clutter in your life or in your heart. We're all so busy. We're all doing our work. We have family, activities we do, sports, all that stuff. All our time is taken. We have barely time for resting. And it just seems like there's more and more pile on our plates. Sometimes we just need time to make those decisions, and we don't have it because we're so busy, we're so cluttered, and we're just getting so overloaded that we can't deal with the problem. And that's fine for a while, but eventually if it's something important, you're going to have to deal with it, have to face it. And again, if your life is overloaded, just try to find ways to unload that burden. Just try to decide what's important versus what's not important, and start to face some of the things that may be hard for you to face. And look down the road of trying to get rid of excess baggage that doesn't need to be in your life. We all have that stuff, and it accumulates slowly over time as we work and go, but we need to let the unnecessary go. Another thing is we don't want to face an issue in our life because of, no strength, there's no energy. We just feel like in our soul, we just don't have the strength to face that. And that's where you need to cry out to God. That's where you need to ask for help from other people to talk with, to get some counsel. And, don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody about your problem. We all need help. We all need counsel. We all need friends. And like I said, go to God. God is the one who will help you the most, and He'll lead you to people to help you. Don't carry the burden yourself. Get help and pray. Ask God to help you with the problem. Tell him exactly what you're feeling, and watch what He does for you. Another issue is we have limited experience in what we're doing, specifically maybe a business or a decision based on work, or it could be anything, but like selling a car or just buying a car or something. Again, it's research. Go back to research and start looking, start pressing in, asking people, going on the internet and just, pressing into the situation, and it'll help you get the experience. Sometimes it just takes time. We don't like that, but sometimes we have to wait. Sometimes we have to press in, and we have to just be patient until we find what we need to make a decision. Another issue that causes indecision is our conscience. If we're struggling with the issue that's wrong, if we're denying our conscience, if we're denying that there's sin in our life, issues in our life that are wrong, if we're not facing what we know is right, we're going to have all kinds of trouble facing other decisions. It's going to clog our minds, it's going to clog our soul, and you're going to feel like you're just so overwhelmed with that one problem, and you're going to get frustrated with other people, you're going to start complaining, and it's all because sometimes it's just that one thing that you won't face. There's something in your life you need to confess to God. There's something in your life you need to give up. Like I said, give it to the Lord. Ask for forgiveness. Deal with the situation. Clear your conscience. If it's a friend you need to apologize to because maybe you said something you shouldn't have said, apologize to them. Peace is so much more important than the problem. Forgive. Don't hold a grudge. Let it go, and you'll have peace, and you'll make more decisions easily and faster and with much more confidence if you have peace in your heart. Another thing is timing. We all hate to wait, but sometimes there's a timing in a problem or issue. Sometimes it could take, sometimes it's minutes, it's weeks, it's months, or even years to get a certain answer for a certain thing. And we may press in as much as we can and just fight and try to get the answer, but sometimes the answers won't come until it's the proper time. Sometimes we need to be in a place to receive it, and sometimes the situation has to come around us, has to be brought into maturity, I guess you could say. The seed of that situation needs to be brought until it's got the fruit of it comes forth. In other words, it has to be brought into a place where it's ready to be given. The answer sometimes has to be grown. Sometimes the answer takes a while to get to a place where it's complete and you'll be able to see it and you're ready for it. So be patient with some things that don't seem to be going your way, and you're searching for an answer and you don't have it. Keep pressing into God, keep pressing into learning, keep pressing into love and giving, and the more your heart is open toward those things, the more the answers will come in due time. Another thing is our past. We all have a past. We all have failures. We all have situations and mistakes in the past that we have trouble forgetting, trouble facing, trouble looking at, especially if they're bigger ones, bigger issues. But we have to let those things go. We have to deal with them and face them. Face them with God. Tell God the issue and say, Lord, I want to face this. I want to deal with this. Forgive me and help me to do this, and press forward in that direction. We have to give up those failures, or we can't go on. If we hold on to those things, unforgiveness in ourselves, we have to forgive ourselves, because God will forgive us if we ask Him to. He's already forgiven us, but you have to receive His forgiveness. Ask Him, and He's not holding it against you. We usually hold things against ourselves more than God does. It's not that God doesn't require you to deal with it. He does, but He is more than willing to forgive. He loves you and wants to help you. So whatever's in your past, He can heal it. He can help you, but you have to go to Him. You have to receive His healing, receive His forgiveness, receive His love. God is waiting for you to go to Him to heal your past. And that does take time too. Some of the stuff can be healed immediately. Some of the stuff will take time as you press into the Lord in a relationship with Him. And the relationship is what it's all about. If you don't have a relationship with the Lord, it's going to be very hard to get help from Him and from anybody else. It's all through relationships in our lives, the people and the Lord too. We have to press into those relationships to get the help that we need, and to understand and to see the love, and you'll see the love come toward you as you press toward them. Don't let your past rule you or control you or bring you into a situation where you can't make a decision. Let the past go. Forgive and let it go forward. Ask the Lord for help to help you forgive and help you to go forward. He's the healer. He's the one that will give you the strength to go to do what you need to do to heal you. We can't heal ourselves. We need His help to heal us. If there's something you're really struggling about in your past, it's going to keep you back from making decisions. It's going to keep you back from having the peace to go forward in other areas of your life. So face that thing. Face it with the Lord. He is the healer, and He will help you if you call upon Him. But you have to call on Him. Everything is about relationships. You need to call on Him, and He will help you. Another thing is fears. We all have a lot of fears about many things, in all directions, all areas. I mean, there's fears of failure, fears of not having money, fears of dying, fears of, just losing your job, everything. But fears will just clog you up, clog your mind up where you can't think straight. It'll just clog your mind where you can't make decisions, and you'll just feel like you're overwhelmed if you hold on to your fear. People who worry a lot are just constantly double-minded and have trouble making decisions. Those things have to be faced and let go of. You have to give those things to the Lord. Ask for the Lord, ask for help. Start facing the decisions you don't want to face. That is how you get over double-mindedness. You can't overcome if you don't face the problem, because you'll remain in indecision and you won't learn. You learn by facing problems. We all fail, we all fall, but we have to face the problem. It's better to make a decision and go in a direction than to just sit there and not do anything. Now, there is a time, of course, where you may just need to wait a little bit before you go forward on something and take the time to learn about it and to get the information you need and, count the cost. We all have to count the cost of things that we do. But eventually you need to make a decision and not just keep pushing it aside. If you keep pushing it aside, it'll come back to haunt you. So last thing is trust. Who do you trust? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust someone else in your life? Do you trust God? Do you not even think about who you trust? Regardless, we're trusting someone. Trust in the Lord. Don't trust in everybody else so much. Trust in the Lord the most. Trust in the Lord for everything because He is everything. He is the answer. So why not trust Him? But we all will fall back to trusting ourselves, even if we're not very trustworthy sometimes. So we all have to learn to go beyond ourselves. That's why there's people, that's why there's teachers, that's why we learn from other people, that's why there's relationships. We need each other, we learn from each other, we grow from each other. So press into relationships, get out of your shell, go forward and forgive yourself, forgive others. Don't hold grudges, don't be frustrated with other people, forgive them. As God has forgiven you, forgive them. And God has forgiven you if you ask for His forgiveness. Receive His forgiveness and you'll have more peace and more love than you ever imagined. Pray and trust Him and you'll see how He works in your life. I hope this video has helped you to learn how to make better decisions and to go on and have a life of greater peace and joy. So thanks for watching. Until next time, God bless.